Well, I want to say welcome everybody back. It seems like such a long time, Jamie, since we've been on the out here in broadcast land, but we're back with the Maple Ridge Now Super Truck Series here on Wednesday nights. Been a long break for these guys here, but glad to get back out there. They've changed the format up a little bit on us too. They're calling it Super Trucks because part of the season they're going to run in the super late models, like we'll see here tonight at Iowa Speedway, and then part of the season they're going to run in trucks. So this should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, hopefully it'll just be the same good racing that we got from these guys for season one. Phenomenal racing throughout that whole season. Don't expect anything but the same with that. Looks like they're going to be doing maybe a little bit longer races this season than what we saw last go around. So, yeah, it's good to be back. Got the holidays over with, and it's time to get back to racing.
Yeah, and what better way to get back to it is some super lates here at Iowa. I know we were talking a little bit beforehand. With Iowa, you're used to seeing it underneath the lights, so it's a completely different track at night. A lot of grip in the track, and I think the surface of this raceway lends itself to that nine time. So they're going to stick these high horsepower super late models that really don't like hooking up in the sun of Iowa. Track temperatures right now at 113 degrees, so
Woo!
yeah, this is gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, that track's gonna be hot and slick. These cars are gonna we want to be all over the place. We'll see who's gonna be able to hold on to them the best, and we'll see at the end of this 100 laps how they stand. But right now we got Michael D'Amico is on the pole with a 23.810 lap, really fast. So we'll see if anybody's got anything for him.
Yeah, one of the you're gonna notice a couple names from last season. Michael D'Amico being one of those, and the grid is set here this evening. So congratulations to him and that number 29 machine for winning the first pole of this season. To his outside is gonna be Mario. Here we go again, Jamie. Uh, Urkanani, Urkonani,
Ercolani.
Urkalani. That's what I said. So I will goof this up for the longest time, Mario. I apologize, but congratulations on the outside pole in that number 41 machine. Last year's champion, Christopher Morris Jr., in the number 3 machine, starting in third position. To his outside, Goat Locker Racing's own Jake Ellingson in the number 27 machine. Starting in that fifth position is going to be James Goshen in the 85. Kevin Otis is going to start to his outside in the 09. Matt White is going to roll off seventh in the 42. John Dickerman from JJ Racing is going to roll off eighth in that number 13 and rounding out the field, as he normally does, because he's pretty slow, Alex Marinelli in that number 17 machine.
Ha!
He knows he's slow,
He knows. He knows.
but
But
he comes
that's
out
all.
here each week and he gives it all he's got.
That's right. He's the man that makes this thing go. So he don't have to be fast to make the field. He's gonna make it. He pays for it.
I suppose you're right, man. His series, he'll do what he wants to do, but had some decent runs last year, and hopefully we'll actually get to see him this year and get up front and mix it up with some of these guys.
And nice to see Jake get out here right before practice ended. He was able to get into the session. A good thing too, since it started a little bit early. So good to see him out here, and hopefully he'll have a good run for Goat Locker Racing.
Yeah, I think we saw Jake a couple different times last year, and then we've seen Jake quite a bit over in our super late model series that runs on Tuesday nights, and actually all of our series are getting ready to kick back off as well. So a lot of great racing going to be coming up. Glad to have everybody back in broadcast land and tuning in, and well, hopefully people are tuning in. Let's put it that way, and checking out the stream. But we'll have to get everybody back and energized again. But yeah, these super lates are, and we said it a lot last season, and we'll probably say it a ton more this season. What a fun car to drive. A really fun track for these cars to be at as well. I mean, when we ran our super late model series, and even when Maple Ridge did last season, a lot of smaller tracks, which is what these cars were built for and do, and it was that grassroots feel to it. So it's nice to see them open it up here a little bit to some of the larger tracks like Iowa, and anxious to see how these cars get around this track and just what kind of racing we're going to see all night. We are on our second parade lap here, anxiously awaiting this pace car to dive off onto pit road so we can get some racing underway here.
All acting up a little bit as far as who's all in here. Thought I saw Mama Ellingson, but now she's not. But we're getting ready to go green, so hopefully we'll get that sorted out here before too much longer.
Green flag is out. We are racing for the first time here in 2022 with the Maple Ridge Super Truck Series, and Mike D'Amico jumps out to a great start there, followed by Christopher Morris Jr. Mario in the number 41 car, hanging back in third. And most of the cars right now seem to trying to get single file here a little bit. We got a few battles going on back through the field.
Yeah, we got them too wide towards the back here. A couple guys trying to poke their nose to see if they can make a move. But so far, everybody's just kind of taking it easy and letting it settle in here.
I see that. We see that 85 machine of James Goshen there. I've seen him a couple times try to make this move to the outside, as he's being able to really get a good run up off these corners by running that outside line. As now we see him make a move on that number 41 car. Finally does get that good run to the outside. Running about, I'm going to call that about midway up the track. Not quite the high line there, but man, he is making some moves early here.
Yeah, you know, well, that is coming off of turn 3. Kind of thinking maybe they were in the middle of 1 and 2. I was going to say you definitely don't want to be up too high in 1 and 2. You can definitely run higher in 3 and 4. And he is making that work. Get that big, huge bump there. There in turn 1. So you got to really be careful if you get up too high. But at the same time, you don't want to be down on that white line here in the early going, because it will snap loose on you very, very quickly.
He is making it work on both ends of the track here, so he must know something about Iowa during the day that most of us don't, because he is definitely running that middle line at both ends of the track now.
Yeah, now we're seeing the 27 and Jake Ellingson move up there as well, as he's trying to get around the 41 of Mario Orcolani.
As those two cars continue to race side by side here. Most everybody else has got it sorted out single file, but we do see that number 27 machine trying to take notes from the 85, run that middle line there, and try to get these runs up off the corner. We'll see how that continues to work out here. But Michael D'Amico in that number 29 machine still out front, but it looks like James Goshen is moving his way up right now.
Yeah, he sure is. Looks like Christopher Morris is kind of falling back just a little bit. Mario Orcolani has cleared himself of Jake Ellingson for the time being, as he runs in 4th. Getting reports from the audience here that it sounds like I'm far away. I don't know if maybe you can bump that volume up a tad bit on your end.
I mean, if people really want to hear you, I can do that.
Okay. Yeah. For some reason, people show up to listen to us every week, and we still haven't figured that out yet. So.
All right, fair enough. We see the 85 machine really making up a lot of ground here, as he's going to be challenging for the lead here very, very shortly.
Yeah, he is all over the back of the 29 right now, putting a lot of pressure on Mike D'Amico.
And then we're starting to see guys like Christopher Morris Jr. also start to close in on this lead battle. Mario Orcolani also keeping pace with these top drivers here too, so might be a little, my goodness, the 85 stuck that car down there underneath the 29 and is making the move for the lead right now. It's the battle of the beers up front. I guess they're both Budweiser products, just one's Bud Light.
Can hear the frogs now.
And if no one else in broadcast land catches that joke, just go YouTube it. Great commercials from back in the day. But new leader out front, the number 85 machine of James Goshen. He is taking the lead here as Michael D'Amico is falling back to second position. Whoa.
Did he get loose up off the exit of 4 there?
I believe he did. Got a little bit loose there. Had to chase the car up. And now he's going to try to battle to get this lead back again. But Michael D'Amico back to the point.
You got the top 5. going to put a blanket over these guys. Jake Ellingson sitting in 5th. He's only half a second behind the leader right now. It is getting crowded up here at the front.
And from these guys on back, it's a little bit of a break in the field here, but these top 5 drivers continue to run nose to bumper up here. Everybody waiting for the next guy to make a mistake, but that number 29 machine back to the point.
I got to say, really impressed with the start these guys have gotten off to. You know, first race of the season, new season, a little bit different format than what they've done in the past. You're coming to Iowa during the day. I really expected we were going to see some cautions early on, but here we are coming to 15 laps in this race, and these guys have been clean so far. So off to a great start here in 2022.
Yeah, absolutely. Great racing here as we now come up on lap 15 of our scheduled 100 here tonight. Been some awesome racing here up front. Starting to see these front 5 start to space out just a little bit here. We'll go back in and check in on our 6th place driver of John Dickerman, who's having himself a pretty solid night, but finds himself 2.5 seconds back of our leader. Him and Kevin Otis are running right next to each other. Kevin Otis in that 09 machine, about 2.8 back. And then we see the infamous, and not the slowest guy on the track, Alex Marinelli in that number 17 machine. Running a little bit different paint scheme this year. Very sharp looking. And then we have one of the newcomers here this year, Matt White in that number 42 machine, running back in 9th position. 5 seconds back of our leader here. So a couple guys have just kind of found themselves some good running space here. As we see up front, is Christopher Morris Jr. is making the move on that 85 machine to try to take over that 2nd position.
Yeah, you got to wonder if James Goshen didn't ease up his stuff a little too much there, trying to get the lead away from Michael D'Amico. He might be paying the price for it now. We got to say though, you know, with Alex Marinelli moving up a spot to 8th, I think he's already passed more cars in 2022 than he did in 2021. Congratulations to the boss man.
I got nothing on that one. That was I tip my hat to you, sir. That was fantastic there. Christopher Morris Jr. able to make that pass, but I don't think James Goshen's going to give up on it here as he's back to that outside line. But I think you might be right. It might be a little bit of use that equipment up. Is starting to see some of these cars really kind of wiggling coming up off the corner, and they're kind of dancing going down the straightaways here. So I think some rear tires are getting burnt up right now, Jamie.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we expected to see that with the temperatures as high as they are for this race, this track. No surprise there that these are some ill-handling race cars right now.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the fuel strategy and all that plays out. I know they're running 60% fuel here to force a couple pit stops. So we'll have to kind of keep an eye on it here to see if the fuel allows them to go to a halfway point. You know, if we look back at last season, a lot of races that went, you know, green to checkered or had just really long green flag runs. And this race right now has kind of got that look to it. So, you know, 21 laps into this thing, these drivers have already got to be thinking, what are we going to do for our pit strategy? How far will our fuel get us? Can we do it in thirds? Do we do it in a half? All yet to be seen.
Yeah, we'll definitely be having to figure that out as it goes along, because I have no idea how far 60% will get these cars.
Nope, not a clue. I suppose that's some of the information we should have in hand, though, but we just like to wing it around here. It makes life a lot more fun. Because if you sound too professional, I don't know, it just gets kind of dry and boring. But when you sit around and you're like, I have no idea what's getting ready to happen, the audience is like, man, this could be some pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. Let's see if we can't get an answer to this right here. Hey, Jake Ellingson, this is Jamie and Pat up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do got a copy.
Hey, so what's that? We're here. You guys got 60% fuel for this race. What's that looking like for your pit stop?
Well, I got about 29 laps left on the tank, about 7.2 gallons. So I'm thinking about doing, maybe cutting it in half. I don't even know what lap we're on, but thinking about cutting it in half and calling it a day.
Yeah, it definitely will get you to halfway because you just went across for lap 25 right now. So if you've got 28 laps remaining, that definitely gets you to the halfway part. So looking good so far, my man. So keep doing it. We just wanted to know what the fuel was looking like. So thank you.
Not a problem, sir. You guys have yourself a good one.
All right, man. That's why, Jamie, you are 10 times smarter than I am. Easiest way to do it, just grab one of the drivers and ask them.
Wow, and James Goshen, he's fallen all the way back to 5th. He's definitely looking for that pit stop. I'm sure he would be praying for a caution right about now.
I think running that little bit higher line and really pushing that car is, he has definitely used up the tires. Continues to fall back here. We check in on our leader, Michael D'Amico, who is out by about a half a second over Christopher Morris Jr. We've seen this a lot last year, these two guys battling it out. And we also, quite a few different times we saw last year that not only did that number 3 machine have that short run speed, but he's really good at taking care of his equipment.
Yeah, and as much as we saw these guys, battling last year, they had their fair share of incidents too. So, if Christopher Morris closes in on here, I'm not saying he's going to put the bumper to him, but they don't give each other too much slack with making passes. So, it could get interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. We saw some pretty heated battles last year between these two drivers. And, you never know what's going to happen. That number 3 machine gets a little bit close here. What exactly is going to happen? Who knows if the off season kind of lets some of those things settle down. I don't know about all that. Drivers have pretty long memories, so we'll just have to see how it goes here. But he ever so slightly is kind of inching in on that number 29 machine right now.
Sure is. And I'll tell you another one that's moving up. Oh, Alex Marinelli's got himself another position. He has made his way up to 7th place. Great run for him so far tonight.
Look at that guy.
He must have been doing some practicing during the off season.
Maybe so. As we see, as well as Mario Orcolani is having himself a pretty good race here. He's staying about a second to a second, 1.1 seconds back of the leader, so having himself a pretty solid night here today. Jacob Ellingson, who we just got done talking to about the pit strategy, having himself a very solid night as well. 1.5 seconds back of the leader, so still within touch here. It looks to be taking pretty good care of that number 27 machine. And as we kind of noted before, James Goshen there falling back 2 seconds of our leader after leading a couple laps there, and really got loose coming off the floor and is really falling back at this point in time. Check back in on our 6th place driver, John Dickerman there. Sharp looking car, as we kind of commented when they were doing practice. And as we just commented, Alex Marinelli having himself a pretty solid night, up a couple spots from where he started, up into the 7th position. Kevin Otis has fallen back a couple of spots here in that 09 machine. And then Matt White, who's kind of been hanging out, tail end of the field here. But having himself a good, solid night. When you're a new driver to a new series and you want to get out here and log some laps, he's doing I say that and he just got up into the wall. You get out here and you just get that seat time and you get the time on the track, and that's what he's out here doing tonight.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You learn a lot from those type of things, and you kind of got to go through that before you get up here and you run with the Mike D'Amicos and Christopher Morses, right? So, just put that in the old, I don't know, knowledge bank, I guess, and you just keep getting better and better.
Guys, we are now 35 laps into our scheduled 100, so it looks like most of these drivers are going to take that same strategy that Jake Ellingson talked about. Haven't seen anybody make a move to pit road to try to cut this thing into thirds. Everybody's got enough fuel to make it to halfway, and I think that's where they're going to take this to, as long as it stays under green flag conditions. So race number 1 of the season, Jamie, we might see green flag pit stops right from the very beginning.
Well, I'm all for it, because I know nobody wants to sit here and watch these guys pace around behind a pace car all night long. Everybody wants to see them racing, so doing a fantastic job of keeping this race green. So hats off to all of them.
Yeah, and again, it's been some great racing. No one's really kind of stepped away from anybody else. Mike D'Amico has definitely shown that he is the best car out here tonight. He showed it in that short run speed, and he's now showing it on long run speed as he has started to pull away from Christopher Morris Jr., one of the very dominant cars last year. So having himself a great night. And again, a couple of these newcomers here having solid nights. Mario Urcanali, I got it, having himself a solid night as well. So I'm with you. I'd rather see the green flag stops. I like the excitement of it. I like the strategy behind it. You have to show your ability to get this car down to pit road speed, hit your box, and then get back out on the track and not make any mistakes. And a lot of times that makes the difference in these races. Can you get on and off pit road cleanly and faster than the guy in front of you?
Right. So, and as well as everybody's running and as clean as everybody's being, first one to get on pit road could throw this whole green flag thing right out the window. Iowa is a little bit tricky to get onto pit road, so it's going to be interesting to see with the temperatures as high as they are. It's not going to take much for one of these guys just to go spinning and bring the caution out.
Not sure what happened to Alex Marinelli, but he has fallen back to dead last place. And I think the right side of his car tells the story.
Oh, man.
I believe he has gotten up into the wall at some point in time here. And we try to go back and take a look here real quick to see what happened to Alex Marinelli. As we watch the replay here. Heads down into 1 and 2. Coming off 2, the car steps out from underneath him. Comes to a sliding stop on the backstretch apron. Doesn't hit anything. Gets that car back underway, but little slide there, but got everything corrected. But is falling back to last place now.
I can tell you what the problem is. I don't see a single Goat Locker Racing decal on that car. I imagine that's exactly what's wrong with it.
He knows better than that. We'll have to pull him to the Goat Locker Racing hauler afterwards and have a discussion with him.
Yeah.
But now he's fallen back to him and Matt White now are in the clutches of our leader, Mike D'Amico, and maybe falling a lap down here very shortly.
It won't be much longer. They got about a second gap between them and the leader, so.
Kevin Otis has brought his car already down pit road, service completed, so come down a little bit early here.
But, you know, as we heard from Jake, you can definitely go more than halfway, so might be a good strategy to short pit here a little bit, especially if you were towards the back, which I believe Kevin Otis was not really too far off the pace, but you know he was definitely not up with the leader. So this might give him an opportunity to make up some ground.
Yeah. No, I fully agree with you.
I'll get the word out here in just a minute.
That's how we see Alex Marinelli go a lap down, along with Matt White there. So our leader, Mike D'Amico, able to make it around those two drivers here, and now Christopher Morris is going to have to deal with the lap traffic. Still about 0.8 of a second behind our leader. And again, we should be coming up on some pit stops here within a handful of laps. We are now on lap number 47, or scheduled 100 here tonight. We have gone green the entire way. And now we see John Dickerman that has come down pit road here. So a couple cars electing to kind of short pit. We will wait to see when our leaders come down pit road.
And Mama Ellingson says that she's been hard at work on Goat Locker Racing decals this week, so I think you need to send some of those along to Alex Marinelli so he can get them put on that race car. You know, he had them on there in season 1. I don't know where they're at now. I see Christopher Morris still got his on the quarter panels there, so that's nice. I don't know what this car is Jake's driving. It's a little camouflage. He acts like he hunts or something. I don't know. Probably hunts about as much as Luke Bryan does.
Who's Luke Bryan?
Yeah, you know, he's that guy that thinks he's country or whatever, and
Never heard of her. As Christopher Morris Jr. is coming down pit road right now, so he is bringing his car down at least a lap before Mike D'Amico, and we're going to see how that plays out when it comes to the on-track times. So a little bit of a strategy move here out of the number 3 machine. If you can't pass him on the track, see if you can't bring it down pit road and pass him on pit road.
yeah, and good strategy. I mean, Michael D'Amico continuing to make laps here, going past halfway, and
He laps by again. He's the only car that is gonna not have brought it down pit lane as of yet. As we see Mario Ercolani come down, Jake Ellingson, James Goshen, so all of them come down.
And Mike D'Amico peels off now to head towards pit road to get service on that number 29 Bud Light Mustang.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out, as he did stay out a couple extra laps here. So, going to be interesting to see. As we see Christopher Morris Jr. getting back up to speed here after his service on pit road. And we'll wait for...
The rest of the leaders are pulling away as Mike D'Amico pulls into his stall. We'll see. We're going to see that James Goshen was definitely last out of that group of leaders that had been on pit road.
We'll continue to keep an eye here to see where Mike D'Amico actually blends back in here. As we see him, as we see him leaving pit road, and there goes Mario Ercolani, and here comes Christopher Morris Jr. as well. So he's going to blend in right there with the leaders, but he has definitely lost the lead of this race.
He sure has. And what's his car going to do for him when he doesn't have the benefit of the clean air that he's had since the green flag fell?
We'll have to see, as him and Christopher Morris Jr. are battling side by side right now.
Christopher Morris is going to make the pass, move into second place.
A new leader, Mario Ercolani, has taken the lead through a series of green flag pit stops here. So congratulations to him and that number 41 machine for getting on and off pit road. The quickest of the bunch, because he was definitely behind them and made up a lot of time on and off the pit road.
Outstanding job by him.
Yeah, as we take a look here at a couple of the pit stop times here, I mean, his pit stop was only 18.6 seconds, while you look at Mike D'Amico, it was 23.5 seconds. Jake Ellingson with a pretty fast time there of 20.2 seconds. But man, the pit crew of Mike Ercolani, or Mario Ercolani, nailed it. I'm not sure if he didn't take a full fuel load or what saved him those extra couple seconds there on pit road. But those extra couple seconds is the reason he's out there leading right now.
He did take 4 tires, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Watching the lap times right now, and Jake Ellingson is really making a charge. I hope he's not overdriving that, using those tires up, trying to catch these leaders. But he's knocking a little bit off each lap.
As he has come on off pit road and stayed, really another one of the cars that has stayed in touch with our leaders all night long here. As he finds himself in 4th position, about 1.1 seconds back of our leader, Mario Ercolani. And now we see Mike D'Amico making that move underneath Christopher Morris Jr. here, heading off into turn number 1.
Won't be surprised if we don't see some fireworks here.
When those two cars were coming off the corner, I don't think you could have fit a sheet of paper between them. I mean, that's some close racing there.
Here comes Jake Ellingson. He's closing in. He's going to add himself to this mix right here.
Guys, he's made up a couple tenths now. Coming up on lap number 60 of our scheduled 100 here tonight. Again, green flag the entire way as we see Matt White has had a little bit of an issue there. But again, keeps the car pointed in the right direction. We'll get that number 42 machine back up to speed and continue to log those laps.
Yeah, I saw some smoke off the side of the screen. I was a little concerned of what happened there, but apparently it was just a single car issue that didn't bring out a caution or anything. So bad break. Who was that? Did you say that was Kevin Otis?
Matt White in the
Matt
number
White?
42
Okay, Matt
machine.
White. Fortunate break for him, but great for everybody else if we keep racing here.
Jake Ellingson has fallen back to about
What happened to
1.8
Jake?
seconds back. I'm not sure if he got loose off a corner or something, but he has definitely fallen back to almost 2 seconds behind the leader at this point in time. But I'm telling you, Mario Ercolani is showing some speed here as he continues to lead this race by a good little margin at this point in time. As Mike D'Amico and Christopher Morris Jr. continue to be, locked at the bumpers here.
They both closed in on it. This time looks like Mario is dealing with some lap traffic up here.
Not able to quite navigate it as of yet, and it is really close in the lead.
Yeah, that has brought Christopher Morris and Mike D'Amico right up to his bumper. So his half a second lead that he did have has gone away.
Oh, and Christopher Morris tags a 09.
It's punted Kevin Otis.
I don't think he meant to do that. Oh my goodness, and the 29 and 3 almost get together there. Mike D'Amico skirts to the outside of that 41 machine, slingshots himself back to the lead of this race.
41's used him up.
Holy
He is-
smokes. That was some intense racing there.
Yeah, it was.
You know, sometimes the way that it kind of goes that way, when you're the leader of the race and you come up on some of the lap traffic, sometimes the guys will kind of get out of your way and I'll say kind of lay over for you. And sometimes, man, they just don't want to get lapped, and they have every right to be out there racing for their position on the track. And that definitely cost the 41 machine, the lead that he had. And we'll have to see if he can get back up here and challenge Mike D'Amico back for the lead of this race.
Well, I was almost afraid that he had really just used up his stuff because it was kind of looking like he was just going to fall back here, but he's rebounded since this has gotten sorted out. He's now put some space between him and Christopher Morris, and he's making a charge once again at the 29 of Mike D'Amico for the lead, so he's not done yet.
No, he continues to make up, ever so slightly a little bit of ground, a little bit more ground. So we'll continue to watch this lead battle up front here as Christopher Morris Jr. has kind of started to fall back just a little bit. Still a lot of racing left here to go as we are going to coming up on 31 laps left here to go tonight in the Maple Ridge Super Truck Series. And again, for anybody that's confused, they're like, why are you calling it Super Trucks? I don't see a truck on the racetrack right now. Format has changed for this season. They're going to do part of the races in the super late models, it's the Super, and they're going to do part of the races in the Gander Outdoor trucks. If you look at the schedule, and we'll have to get a new schedule up, and I apologize, I don't have one ready for this broadcast here, but 3 of the races that they're doing in the trucks, one's going to be at Daytona, one's going to be at Homestead Miami Speedway, and the other one's going to be at Talladega. So we're actually going to see a couple plate races this season here with the Maple Ridge boys.
Right. Be something different. Last year it was all short tracks in the super late models, so be interesting to see these guys get after it on a bigger track.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do with drafting and those types of things, and just see how these drivers interact with those type of cars. We know how they do with the super lates, and none of this is a surprise. Have this race being green flag, seeing the races that we're seeing, not a surprise whatsoever. So anxious to see what these guys can do in those big lumbering trucks. Mario Urcolani is not going anywhere at this point in time. He stays glued to that number 29 machine. Seen him make a charge a couple different times on corner entry, just kind of send it in there a little bit. I think he's just letting that 29 machine know he's still there and he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's definitely hanging in there. I mean, I'm really impressed because, like I said, I really thought he was done after he got past, and he has gathered it back up and is keeping on going. So, hats off to you, Mario Urcolani. Great run so far. And we'll pull Jake back up here again. Mama Ellingson's wanting to know what's going on with him, so whatever Mama Ellingson wants, we give her. So, Jake, your mom wants to know what's going on with you. Why are you so slow all of a sudden?
I got loose coming out of 4. I had to give it the old 2-foot smash and corrector, and it put me about 1.2 back as initial, and I just haven't been able to regain that speed. So I think I cooked the rear tires a little bit when I got loose.
Yeah, it'll definitely do that. Any slide on these rear tires will definitely chew them up even faster. But still having a solid night there in 4th position. So make sure you're using the loud pedal. Get back up there and see what you can do.
I'm definitely giving her the best I can right now.
So how's the track conditions right now? I mean, usually we've talked about it earlier on the broadcast. Usually Iowa's always run at night. This is being run during the day, obviously, and the track temperature is quite high. How's that track feeling right now?
At the beginning of the run, it felt a lot better. It felt a little bit tighter coming off the corner. Now, when coming off of 2, and especially coming out of 4, the rear end of the car just wants to step out all the time, and I think the best thing I can do is just kind of keep arcing that corner to try to minimize that rear end slide coming out of the corner. And as I just did that,
That's like, hold on to it, buddy.
All right, Jake. Well, you get back to concentrating on driving. We'll leave you alone.
All right, man.
I mean, he wanted to demonstrate what was going on, and he did a pretty good job of it. I mean, that was
on cue.
On cue. Made that car step out. Well played, sir. Well played. So we head back up front here. Mike D'Amico still holding on to the lead here. Again, Mario Urcolani not going anywhere. Christopher Morris Jr.'s dropped back about a second of the leader at this point in time. About what he was doing at this point in time of the run, last run. So, but again, really surprised to see the run out of this number 41 machine, as he's just not going anywhere.
No, not at all. 20 laps to go. We'll see if he's still got something left in that tank to make a charge to try to get around Mike D'Amico. It's one thing to sit here and running his tire tracks. It's another to get around him. So. See if he's got a plan as this race winds down.
Now, with 20 laps left to go, we'll have to see. As now we start to see him fall back here a little bit of our leader. Mike D'Amico has looked smooth all evening long. Doesn't look like he's really pushing that car, very hard. I'm sure that he is. We haven't seen the slides and wiggles out of that car that we have seen out of some of these other guys. So that lets you know he is really taking care of those tires and should pay off here in the long run for him. Laps left here to go tonight. A lot of great racing so far here this evening. Great way to kick back off call it our broadcasting in 2022. I know we've done a couple of our personal races, but actually be back up here in the booth, broadcasting one of these races. But it's a lot of fun to be back up here doing it. It's a lot of fun to be back with the Maple Ridge guys, and they put on a hell of a show so far, Jamie.
Actually, you say that, I think this really is our first broadcast of 2022. Every time
that's right.
We were doing an Xfinity race or something, there would be some kind of hiccup or some issue, or Friday night we were in Dane Coda, and I didn't even want to bother putting that up. But so really this probably is our first broadcast of 2022. It's been quite a while since we've been on the Twitch ways, I guess.
That's good. Yeah, I guess so. It's probably been, probably at least a month or so. But glad to be back at it. Glad to get back to racing here. Anxious to kind of get everything over at Goat Locker back kicked off again. Again this season coming up, we'll run both of our series. We'll run the super late models on Tuesday nights. Not something that we typically broadcast. Maybe get into a little bit of a solo cast on those or something along those lines. But our premier series, the Truck Series, comes back on Thursdays. We have our first recruitment race this Thursday coming up. It's at Michigan International Speedway, and that'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the big thing this week, if you know anything about iRacing whatsoever, is the 24 Hours of Daytona. And Goat Locker has its team, has its entry, and we are ready to hit the track this Friday for 24 hours of racing at the Daytona Road Course.
Yeah, anybody that watches our streams knows I am not a fan of road course racing, but got roped into doing that last year, and it was an absolute blast. Cannot wait to get it going this year. I think we got a really good team with us. It's me, you, Cody McElwain, Eddie Smith, Ryan Pendleton, and Nate Graham. Nate's a newcomer that Ryan brought into Goat Locker Racing. But he's an outstanding road course driver. So he's our ringer.
Oh yeah.
So you guys, anybody wants to tune in, you might want to tune in when Nate's on the track. That's probably when it'll be most exciting. But the key to the 24 Hours of Daytona is not necessarily running fast, but keeping the car on the track, not hitting stuff, minimizing the amount of time you spend on pit road. So if you're just running clean laps, you don't necessarily have to be fast. And I think we got a good group of guys that will keep it clean. Right now we got Jake Ellingson's he's volunteered to do some spotting for us. Hopefully we can get some other people to kind of help us out. So that way, gives the guys driving a break. You don't have to run your stint, then turn around and, hang out and spot necessarily. If we can get some people to come in and do the spotting for us, that'd be a big help. So really looking forward to it. A lot of work's been gone into it. I know I've turned hundreds of laps in practice, trying to prepare for it. Been doing a lot of math.
That's
much
true.
Much more than I felt like really should have to do. But it's unbelievable how much strategy really goes into it, and trying to figure out every little detail about it. And again, talk about it's all done in a vacuum. So first incident that happens, all the plan goes out the window. So come check out the stream. It will be streamed the whole 24 hours. And Mama Ellingson, who's Jake spotting for, whoever he wants to spot for.
Pretty much.
Come in whenever he wants to. I'll be in the car from 2:45 in the morning to 4. Well, that's Central Time, I think. Eastern Time, I guess it's 3:45.
Yes, sir.
3:45 to 5:45 in the morning is when I'll be in the car the first time, and then I think it's 8:45 to 10:45, something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure when my second stint is. It's later in the morning. I know that. But Pat will be kicking it off.
Yep.
He's gonna run the first stint. Ooh, and look who is closed back up on the bumper.
Yeah.
Sitting here talking. We got 5 laps to go here.
He is really close back in on the back bumper of Mike D'Amico at this point in time. So, coming up on 5 laps to go, and this race is far from over. As the lead continues to heat up here. Again, the number 3 machine of Christopher Morris Jr. about 1.1 seconds back, as we see our leaders lap around the number 13 machine of John Dickerman. But Mario Ercolani continues to put the pressure on here.
He sure does.
As we are going to have a fight to the finish.
Mike D'Amico's been holding anything back. He might want to start letting that leash out a little bit now, because Mario is there.
Mario continues. I mean, a strong run off the corner right there. Coming up on 3 laps to go. And wee, are they close?
I thought he was getting ready to put the bumper to him there.
That was awful close. That is for sure. Only a few laps left here to go tonight to settle this one out on the very first race of the season here. Been a fantastic race. Green flag from the very beginning. And we are now at 2 laps left here to go. Little wiggle out of that number 29 machine coming off of turn number 4.
Oh,
and
here he goes.
The 41's going to try to stick his nose down there. Gets not enough of a run off the. Oh, man. Woo.
Should be white flag here, right?
White flag. 1 lap left here to go in the Maple Ridge Super Truck Series. 1 lap to settle this out between Mike D'Amico and Mario Ercolani. They have been battling it out here for the second half of this race.
Goodness gracious. Oh.
That gives Mario and that 41 machine that outside line, so it is going to be a drag race to the finish.
Got him. Mario got him. 0.082 seconds. Oh my goodness.
What a finish here at Iowa Speedway. And Mario Ercolani able to pull the finish off here and win this race as they were throwing blocks at each other. And Mario got to that outside. Mike D'Amico gets a little bit loose, and Mario's able to pedal that car home for the win. What a finish.
Oh, what a heartbreaker for Michael D'Amico. I mean, he probably zagged when he should have zigged, and Mario just took advantage of it and got to that outside. I wasn't quite sure if he'd be able to, keep the pedal down and keep it out of the wall, but he did. They bumped a little bit there coming to the. Looked like who was that? Ricky Craven. I can't remember who he was up against there.
Kurt Busch.
Got that win. Was it Kurt Busch at Arlington? Beating and banging off of each other, and it was probably about the same time right there. That is an amazing finish. Less than a tenth of a second separating those 2 cars. That is crazy.
Wow.
I mean, we just got 100 green flag laps of racing, and then it finished like that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, just what an amazing finish there. And we'll pull up tonight's results. But yeah, Mario Ercolani in that 41 machine, winning by 0.082 seconds. Christopher Morris Jr. over Mike D'Amico, who comes in second place after leading so many laps here tonight. Christopher Morris Jr. rounds out our top 3 here tonight. Jake Ellingson with a strong run back in 4th position. James Goshen, we saw him running up front early, comes back and finishes in 5th position. Our first car lap down is John Dickerman finishing back in 6th. Kevin Otis got a handful of laps down along with Alex Marinelli, who finishes back at 8th position, and Matt White, 20 laps down, finishes in 9th position there. So a lot of great racing here this evening, and we will go ahead and grab a hold of our 3rd place finisher here, because everybody's already left the track. Christopher Morris Jr. Hey, Chris, Pat and Jamie up in the booth. You got a copy?
What's up, fellas? Good to hear from you.
It's been a while, my friend. It's definitely been a while. What a fantastic race here tonight to kick off the season. 100 laps at Iowa. Green flag the checker the whole way. Strong night out of the number 3 machine. Just didn't seem like he had quite the pace to keep up with Mike D'Amico and obviously our race winner, Mario Ercolani. So take me through your race here this evening of maybe what you needed a little bit more of to be able to get up there and really battle with these leaders.
And, well, I think we finished 3rd here last season, if I remember correct, and didn't really have the pace to lead then either. So I think I just got to work on this track with this car a little bit more. I'm used to running the top lane around here, not really the bottom. And with these cars, it's pretty bottom dependent. I tried the top towards the end there, and it just didn't work. Losing time. I don't know, man. I'll tell you, and this is an excuse, but I was literally dusting cobwebs off the steering wheel at about 8 o'clock tonight. I hadn't raced since Five Flags last season, so 3 months, however long it's been. And I ran in practice, and it just wasn't enough. Just kind of got our butt kicked tonight. What a finish, though, man! That might be the best finish that we've had in this league. In 12 races or something like that? That was great.
Chris, man, congratulations on the top 3 to start the season off. Picking up right where you left off, winning the championship last year. Man, you talking about best finish in this league? That's one of the best finishes I've seen. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those guys, they were giving it everything they had those last couple laps, and I mean, all the way down to that finish line. I mean, beating and banging on each other coming to the line. I was telling Pat, it reminded me of Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch there at Darlington. Ricky Craven pulling off the win there. So, man, tell me how that track felt tonight. We heard from Jake Ellingson earlier in the race. It's definitely unusual to run Iowa during the day. Iowa's usually always a night race, and the temperature on this track was quite high. How was that feeling out there?
Yeah, weird. I was anticipating a lot more grip. When we were in practice, I was able to pretty much just kind of floor it around the corners. It wasn't really breaking loose, which was not how I remembered this car acted. So I was honestly, my first thought was maybe they had a tire model update or something like that, and then we would get 20 laps into the run in the race, and I realized real quickly, no, there's no difference. They still wear out really fast. I don't know. It was tricky, man. It was definitely tricky. It was slick on exit out of 4. Really tight off exit for me, at least out of 2. Super snug getting into the corners to the point where I really wanted to enter on the bottom to try to save the right front a little bit, and I could for the first few laps, but after that you really had to start arcing it. Yeah, I don't know. Tricky is the best way to describe it.
Gotcha, man. Well, it looked pretty tricky, but you guys had it figured out, man. Great race tonight. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to everybody in this field. 100 laps of Green Flag Racing, and then to finish it with a winner who won by 0.082 seconds. That's amazing. It's incredible. Great start to the 2022 season. Anybody you need to thank? Shout out sponsors.
Man, shout out to Zach, and everybody over at Hijinks. Zach should be here next week, hopefully, for Daytona. He's building a computer right now. They're putting one together or something, I don't know. We all know how fun that is. So he was busy tonight. Oh, man, I got to shout out Mario. I don't know if this was his first race with us, but if it was, show up and win like that, heck of a job, super clean. It's always nice to have more competition. And Mike, man, it looks like it's going to be another season, man, of me and him just nose to tail, side by side, whatever it's going to be. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, man, congratulations again on that top 3 finish, and I guarantee we'll be talking to you again here real soon.
I hope so, man. I missed you guys.
Oh, I see. All right, man. Have a good one, brother.
Have a good one.
Later.
Gosh darn it, people do like us. All right, let's grab Mike D'Amico here and have a chat with our second place finisher here tonight. Hey, Mike, Pat, and Jamie up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. How you doing, guys?
Great, man. What a strong run of the number 29 machine. Great start to the season for you. Obviously, a little bit of heartbreak on that last lap there, but I mean, take us through your race here tonight, and really how you were able to just, really be up front all night long, and then ultimately bring home that second place finish.
I just kept a solid pace all night from the very beginning. The car was great. I never run good at Iowa ever, except tonight. So tonight was like a miracle run. But the car was good. I pitted, and probably about the last 20 laps, it started to go away from me. I thought I'd be able to pull away from Mario, but he was right there, man. Freaking, I don't know what to say.
Well, I mean, I know, Michael. I know it was frustrating. You led almost every lap of this race except for the one that mattered. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, at any minute now he's gonna start just pulling away. and it just never happened. And then all of a sudden, here's Mario with making this push with the last couple laps. So, do you think that the track temperature being as high as it was had anything to do with that late run there? The car kind of going away on you?
I would say somewhat. I think it's more of when me and Mario and Chris were racing around a lap car. Chris got up high, went by him, then I went by Mario. We were racing a little bit. That might have chewed up the tires a little bit, but I, I felt like probably within the first 20 laps, I'm like, I think I used my tires up just a little bit more than I did before I pitted that first time around.
Wow, it's still a great run, man. I mean, I know you didn't get to win, but you really dominated this race. So congratulations to you to have a great run to start the season off. Anybody you need to thank? Shout out sponsors.
No one in particular, just Alex for putting on this league again for a second season. Hope we get more guys for Daytona next week because that's going to be wild.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun, man. Well, again, like Jamie said, man, congratulations on a second place finish here. A strong run to start the season, and can't wait to see you behind the wheel of the truck next week.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Yep. All right, well, let's grab a hold of our winner, Mario. Hey, Mario, Pat and Jamie up in the booth. You got a copy?
10-4, guys.
Well, what a finish. We saw you through that series of green flag stops, be able to take the lead of the race there, and then ran up on some lap traffic. That's where Mike was able to get around you, but you stayed right on his bumper and then made that move on that last lap. So, I mean, kind of take me through those last couple laps there and really how you were able to stay with them.
Well, about 10 to go, I hit the apron and got a little loose and just backed out of it for a little bit and got back up. There was a stretch in the middle. I was saving fuel because I knew it was going to be close. So I got back to his bumper and then just kind of did the thing, played the game a little bit. Where was he going to go? What was his move? And when he ducked low, I went back high and drove it in deep and tried to run the high side, and fortunately it worked out for me.
Hey, Mario, congratulations on pulling off this win. If you haven't seen it yet, man, you won by a whopping 0.082 seconds. It was an amazing finish. When did you know you still had something for Michael? Because I got to be honest, when you guys were dealing with that lap traffic and he got around you there, and it looked like Christopher Morse was going to get around you, I really thought you'd use the car up. But then you just battled right back and got back to his bumper. I mean, did you feel confident that you had something for him to the end, or what?
Yeah, the lap traffic kind of got in my head there. I went to go around one of the cars on the bottom and got a little loose, and I thought I lost the race right there. Kind of was hoping for a caution, but then when I started saving fuel, the slower I went, the faster I went. I kind of said, "Oh man, maybe I do got something." So I think saving fuel saved the car a little bit too. And once I got back to Mike's bumper, I was like, I got something for him. If I can make the move clean, that's my chance. I didn't want to have a dirty race at all, and I get a lot of respect from Mike. That was an awesome finish for both of us.
Yeah, man, it was awesome to watch. Hopefully, you'll get a chance to go back and watch the broadcast and see how amazing that finish was. I mean, you guys put on a great show. Congratulations to you for pulling off the win, starting the season off with a win. You can't do better than that. That's got to be an amazing feeling. So hopefully that propels you here going forward, and good shot at winning this championship in season 2. Anybody you need to thank? Shout out sponsors.
Hell yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, I want to thank Elite Performance Industries. The guys over there do a lot for me, man. A lot of help, a lot of coaching through what I've been on the sim.
All right, man. Well, again, congratulations on winning the season and opener here at Iowa Speedway, and can't wait to see you next week behind the wheel of the trucks, man.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Well, Jamie, there you have it, man.
Wow.
Race number 1, 0 cautions, and one of the best damn finishes we've ever seen.
Absolutely. I tell you what, I'll be saving that replay. Wow. That was awesome. We're gonna have to cut that down and make that a standalone video on YouTube or something, because that was amazing.
Yeah, that was an awesome finish, and it was an awesome race for sure. Can't wait to see these guys next week. Again, like we've talked about here, next week these guys will be behind the wheel of the trucks at Daytona International Speedway. So we're going to see what these guys can do with some plate track racing, and we'll look forward to watching them bounce back and forth between the super late models and the trucks. As we've talked about a little bit here all night long, as we begin to ramp back things up here in 2022 with Go Locker Racing. Be sure to tune in tomorrow evening for our recruiting race at Michigan with the Truck Series at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Friday, like Jamie said, we're going to be streaming the 24 Hours of Daytona. Unfortunately, I'm not even going to say unfortunately. I'm not even going to say I drew the short straw. But for the second year in a row, I get to start the car. Probably one of the most stressful times, but I had a really good time with it last year, and I'm looking forward to doing that again. Looking forward to seeing Goat Locker Racing doing some great things in the 24 Hours of Daytona. And then as we shift into the weeks coming up, you'll start to see a little bit more out of us when it comes to the super late models. We're going to run about 3 recruiting races before we kick into our season. Our season is going to kick off in February, both series. So be sure to tune in when you can. But we are back every Wednesday night here with Maple Ridge. So be sure to check us out. And again, thanks to all of our sponsors that make this thing go. Thanks to Maple Ridge. And looking forward to getting 2022 kicked off in the right way. So see everybody tomorrow night.